I'm Candy Lamb, and welcome back to Candy's Locker Room. Things got ugly between the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles in Philly on Sunday. Just how ugly, you ask? Well, let's see as we get into this Dallas Cowboys and Eagles game recap. It's Cowboys ball first, and they are unable to score on that first possession. Then it's Eagles ball. Dorrance Armstrong comes through with a sack, his 5th of the season, before giving the ball back to the Cowboys again. During this Cowboy possession, the Cowboys aren't able to get much done before a pass is batted away from Cooper Rush by Epps, and it's Eagles ball again. The next possession by the Eagles is a really long one, as it starts off with 2 first downs by Jack, and essentially this goes into the second quarter, but for a good reason for the Philadelphia Eagles, as Miles Sanders is able to run it in for an Eagles touchdown. The field goal attempt is good, bringing the score to 7-0 in the second quarter. At this point in the game, it's very apparent that the Eagles are reading Micah Parsons like a book. Instead of going into the Lions' den and going straight into his mouth, they sat back, waited, and then they attacked those outside corners. It's Cowboys ball, and then Cooper Rush throws this pass right into traffic. It's intercepted by James Bradberry, Cooper Rush's first interception with the Cowboys this season. Unfortunately, the string of bad luck continued for the Cowboys as it's Eagles possession again, and A.J. Brown runs past Wilson for an Eagles touchdown, bringing the score to 14-0. It's Cowboys ball here again in the second quarter, and Cooper is able to get the ball to Lamb. Lamb reaches out to get that additional yardage, getting what we thought as Cowboys fans and everyone around was and should have been a Cowboys first down, but they counted it short. And this is something that Cowboys Twitter has debated all week so far, that this should have been a catch. This should have been the first down, and they wish that Mike McCarthy would have challenged it. Well, Mike McCarthy came out and said that he didn't challenge it because of officiating procedure. Cowboys don't score on that drive. It's Eagles ball again. They get into field goal range. The field goal attempt is good. At this point in the game, the score is 17-0. The Eagles are up. It's Cowboys possession again. We start off with a flag by Kelvin Joseph, and this was one of many flags thrown on the Cowboys, but we'll get into that later. Then there's a beautiful first down by Pollard. McGovern and Tyler Smith did a beautiful job opening up the lane there. But then Cooper Rush gets his second interception of the season for the Cowboys. It's intercepted by Eagles Darius Slay, and of course it's Eagles ball again. They start off with a first down by Sanders. We have a nice stop by Parsons and Van Der Esch, and they aren't able to score with a touchdown on this drive, but they are able to get into field goal range. The field goal attempt is good. The score is now 20-0. Now, here's where things get interesting for the Cowboys. The punt is kicked off to Turpin, and he turns on the wheels. Literally, I just saw a wind as he sped down the field for, I think, a 62-yard return, giving the Cowboys a little bit of that ammo that they needed at this point in the game. With 42 seconds left on the clock, Noah Brown makes this beautiful, beautiful catch in the corner of the end zone for what we thought was a Dallas Cowboys touchdown. And at first, it was the touchdown as called on the field, but after review, it was taken back, but it still was a beautiful catch, a nice play, well, kind of a catch. There's a pass intended for a Gallup, but here comes that problem child again. Bradberry comes and knocked the pass away. We aren't able to score a touchdown on this drive. We are able to get into field goal range. The field goal attempt is good, and that brings the score to 20-3. There's just seconds left. It's Eagles ball. They run off the field for halftime, leading over the Cowboys 20-3. Well, at halftime, the Cowboys must have had some sort of pep talk, or maybe it wasn't so peppy, because our boys came back out fighting and clawing to get to this end of the game and essentially get back in the game. After the half, third quarter, it's Eagles ball. They don't score. Now it's Cowboys possession. This was the best drive probably of the game. The Cowboys switched it up a little bit with a first down to Jake Ferguson. our tight end, and he had no problem getting that ball from Rush. Followed up by a first down to Pollard. Then it's a trickle down effect. First down, McKeon, Ferguson, Zeke, and then Zeke runs it in for finally a Dallas Cowboys touchdown in this game, bringing the score to 20-10. It's Eagles ball. There's a pass that's intended for Goddard. It's knocked away by Micah Parsons, and then Parsons after the play kind of gets up as a show of, power over Goddard, and the refs don't like it. They call unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's a 15-yard penalty on the Dallas Cowboys. I hate that we got a 15-yard penalty, but I liked seeing that aggression from Micah Parsons. I know that he had a little frustration built up, as we talked about, from being, as heavily watched and targeted as he was in that first half. So that was probably some steam that he needed to blow off. This Cowboys ball again. Turpin turns on those wheels again. And I tell you, this guy is so fast that he trips over his feet. Well, this is followed up by first down, Gallup, Lamb, Brown, Lamb again, and of course it's not a Cowboys game if there aren't a bunch of flags being thrown. And essentially we get to that beautiful end zone again, touchdown to Cowboys tight end Ferguson, and it's looking on the up and up finally in this game for the Cowboys. It's 17-20. The Eagles are still up, but we're close. But not close enough as the Eagles return the favor. By the way, we went into the fourth quarter in that last drive. The Eagles returned the favor on this next possession with a touchdown by Devontae Smith, and it was on Diggs. Diggs was so frustrated, he took his helmet off and just kind of screamed, and of course, what was that, guys? What was that, Cowboys Nation? A flag. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Dallas Cowboys, number 7, and that gave the Eagles additional yards where they were able to attempt a 2-point conversion. Luckily, they were stopped. It didn't work, and the score was now 17-26 Cowboys possession. Cooper Rush is intercepted for the third time in this game. He had not been intercepted all season, but this time he got not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions in this game. I don't know what was going on. Well, I do know what was going on. We'll discuss that later. But it just did not look good for the Cowboys in this game. It's Eagles ball. They don't score on that possession. And then Cowboys ball again. One more chance to get some points up on the board. We fell with a field goal attempt. It's Eagles ball. They win the ball game over the Dallas Cowboys, 17-26. Let's get into Candy's game notes from this game. And essentially, what happened? Why didn't the Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles? But first, let's get into at least a little piece of good news. Let's start with the good first. In the second half, our Cowboys came back out looking like their old selves, in a sense. They came back out fighting, at least willing to play and playing harder. So that was a relief, right? But at that point in the game, it just wasn't enough. We had too many turnovers, way too many turnovers, too many penalties. I know I always say we're going to have penalties, but there's penalties that we can help and there's penalties that we just should not be getting. We had like 9 or 10 penalties, which just cannot happen in a game like this, especially giving up I think that was like 70 yards. We gave Philly too many opportunities on third down. We had trouble stopping the run, and I felt like that's something that should have easily and could have easily been addressed, and it wasn't. But mainly, the main big thing here was that we just did not have that arm power on offense that we should have and wish that we would have. Cooper Rush did what he could as our backup quarterback, but we needed the arm power in there. Cooper Rush was trying to make those throws to our receivers, and it just wasn't getting done. We need someone in there that has a wide perimeter and can view all of the traffic that's around their receiver and make a conscious decision to either throw the ball or do something else with it. And Cooper Rush just was not able, unfortunately, to make the right decision in this game 3 times, and it cost us deeply. With that being said, let's move on to Candy's hot shot of the week. My hot shot of the week was Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott showed up in, I believe, a heather gray pinstripe suit, a white button-up top, and brown penny loafers. And he came game day ready, even though he wasn't playing, came to support his team and, again, show that force of power, that quarterback presence, that QB1 presence, and I really liked his outfit. My second hot shot of the week was Tyler Smith in his light gray plaid suit, white button-up shirt, but what I loved most was the steppers, the shoes, paired with those shades. I liked it. It was a really nice game day look. Now getting into my play of the week. I have two plays of the week. Despite what the referees think, CeeDee Lamb, that was a heck of a play. Yes, it wasn't just out of the ordinary, spectacular, but it was a nice play. He reached and he got that first down. I don't care what the ref said. I don't care what they saw on their cameras. We saw it. You saw it at home. That should have been a first down. My second play of the week was Noah Brown's touchdown. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. They said it wasn't, but I think it was. Of course, I think everything was, right? But that was an amazing catch by Noah Brown. Right at the tip of the end zone, he catches the ball for a Dallas Cowboys touchdown. They called it back, but it still was one of my plays of the game. It was amazing. It was an exciting moment in the game, and we really, quite frankly, didn't see many big plays this game from the Cowboys. Now, what's interesting is that on Twitter, of course, Cowboys Twitter, they found old footage of him in college making a very similar play. If I could find those clips, I'll put them side by side and put them up here for you. But those are my two plays of the week. Now it's time for the check down, where we get into a little bit of what's going around, what's some news that's going around. Well, the big news, the news everybody is waiting to hear and listening for is what's going on with Dak Prescott. Is he really going to turn around and come play for the Cowboys against the Detroit Lions on Sunday? Well, do we have a clear answer on that? Well, basically, Jerry spoke out and said that Dak is determined to play. And Dak said that last week, got us all riled up. We saw him before the game against the Eagles, throwing beautiful passes to the receivers, right? Again, I think that was just a show of strength, a show to Cowboys Nation, like, hey, we're not just sitting him out on the bench and forgetting about him. He's still your QB1. Look what he can do, but he's not ready to come into this game yet. Now, on the contrary, Dak said that if it were up to him, he would have been in that Eagles game. Right now, it seems that they're still testing him out this week, but it is likely that Dak Prescott is going to return for Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. It's time for Candy's flag on the play. We're going to step out of bounds here, and we are going to talk about what happened during that Panthers and Rams game when receiver Robbie Anderson was taken out of the game and sent back to the locker room by head coach Steve Wilks. Well, apparently Anderson and wide receiver coach Joe Daly were getting into a few kind of heated exchanges that coaches and players shouldn't be getting into during the game, or hopefully, but we know it's not inevitable that they get into it, but hopefully not during a game. Well, they got into it during this game, and it boiled over from the first half to the third quarter. Anderson had a few things to say post-game, and essentially what he said was that I'm here to do whatever I can to help this team win, and it's third and down. I'm being taken out of the game, and I don't think that I should be okay with that. Well, that may be so, and I think that it's a way to express your frustrations without embarrassing your team. They're already being embarrassed. They lost 24-10 to the Rams. So I think that's a conversation that should have been had after the game. And if you're going to do it during the game, don't do it in a confrontational way that's just going to draw more attention, more negative attention to your team. So that's my thoughts on that. Tell me what you guys think about the coach pulling him out of the game. I think that at that point, the coach had to separate because they could have gotten into a fight in the middle of the game, and that just would have made things worse. So you kind of have to remove part of the problem. You can't take the coach out of the game. The other wide receivers need him. So you have to remove a part of the problem to keep it from going and blowing up. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments below, but that's my thoughts on it. Now it's time for Candy's Q&A. I have one question from a follower, Chaz Reese, and he wants to know, Candy, how long have you been a Dallas Cowboys fan? This is one of my favorite questions. I've been a Cowboys fan for as long as I can remember. Now, as I got older, I got more into the game and, the particulars, the ins and out of what actually is going on the field. But I grew up watching the Cowboys with my dad. So I've been a Cowboys fan for a while, and it's tough, but I love it. Well, guys, that's all I have for Candy's Locker Room. Remember, we take on the Detroit Lions next week, and hopefully our Cowboys QB1, Dak Prescott, should be back. We take on the Lions, who are 1-4, and I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say it anyway. This should be a win. This should be an easy win for the Dallas Cowboys. So I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe in the meantime, and I will catch you as we take on Detroit Lions next week.